Hello, I'm Julia Street and I'm very excited because today I'm with Ben Parker, who is the co-founder and the COO of InTick. Ben, how are you?
You're really good, thank you. Great to be here.
It's really good to see you. Now, InTick's really fascinating business. I mean, I would say that, wouldn't I? But actually, I tell you why I think it's particularly fascinating is because of the opportunity in the market. To get us started, talk to us about what does InTick do?
So, InTick is a blocking network for listed derivatives.
Okay.
And so what we are doing is trying to create a liquidity hub for block-sized transactions and then fully electronifying the processes, which today are quite manual.
So this is the start of 2026. Talk to us about when you were launched and how has that journey been so far?
Well, it's been a really exciting year. We launched in May with the UK gilt roll and the Eurex fixed income rolls. The European market is about 50% of the global blocking market, and so it was an important place for us to start. And since then, we've done a seed funding round, which has been very exciting for us, and that's really laid the foundations for what we're now trying to do in 2026.
So let me get this right. You've got 50% of the blocking market having started where you started from. You've got investors who are coming on board and committing cash and investing. How's the market response been to what you're doing? Because you must be arguably disrupting some people's workflows. I mean, what is the reaction?
We've been thrilled with the levels of engagement we've had from actually all parts of the market. One of the principles with InTick is to create a successful network. We have to be relevant and solving problems for all different parts of the market, but it has to be done in a way which is not at the expense of any other. And so what that's meant is we spend a lot of time talking to market makers, to banks, to hedge funds, to asset managers, to really understand what problems they are facing when they're wanting to transact block level transactions. And by doing that, we've now created a platform that is providing value to each of them in a way that is sustainable.
Right, and has this been mostly a manual market, so you're automating it for the first time? Or what's changing? What is that point of change?
That's right. So the block market is very manual, and both in terms of the way people source liquidity, but also once they found liquidity, to actually then block that transaction onto an exchange is manually intensive to do, and can create lots of problems in terms of manual errors, which create regulatory risk, and that can quite often also result in busted trades, in trades which are then cancelled and have to be renegotiated.
And the reason I'm sort of sitting here quite surprised is because, I mean, for the last 10, 15, 20 odd years, I mean, I've been in the industry a long time, we've been talking about automation, end to end, all the participants, kind of for all, in so many different asset classes and instruments. It is incredible to me that there's still a section of the market that is still manual. Yeah,
it's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there are some reasons, and we do ask ourselves as well, as to, we worked in these markets for 20 years, and why didn't we solve these problems earlier? And I think it's a factor of many things. One is that the futures markets, or the listed derivative markets, they function in a very different way to, say, and the equity markets or the bond markets. A transaction in listed derivatives is not recognized until two registered exchange members accept the buy side and the sell side of a transaction. That's a structural difference that exists, very nuanced to exchange listed products. I think the second aspect is that futures and options are not in themselves an asset class. So when there is a fight for investment spend, when there is an innovation that is presented to, say, the heads of capital markets at a bank, the underlying businesses that are for the rates business or the equity business or the credit business, they will always or most often win out on any trade-offs that have to happen. And so what that's meant is over many years, over decades, there has just been a stifling of innovation, not because people don't believe that things can be better, it's just not ever today's priority.
Right, but it feels like that's changing because you've talked about roles, and roles are always a really key element of any trading year, let's call it. You talked about the potential of automation. What we know to be true is that when you remove some of those frictional barriers, be it cost or indeed workflow, that actually liquidity goes up. I mean, do you see this as an unlocking of a market, or is it just a matter of just automating what exists today?
Yeah, I do. InTick will create new liquidity pools. Some of the structural barriers in the market today prevent two parties finding one another and being able to transact directly with one another. So, for example, one of the things that InTick does is it enables the market maker community to make markets directly to end users without having to put in place legal documentation that would typically have governed those relationships. And so that is enabling a distribution channel for market makers, but it's enabling the buy side to tap liquidity that they wouldn't actually be able to access directly themselves today.
So you're off the blocks, you've got some funding, you've got market interest, you've got technology. As we look at 2026, give us a sense of what's on your roadmap. What can we expect as we watch you grow?
Well, we're a technology platform, so as you would expect, we are continuing to develop the technology and making sure that we really are solving problems that are important to our target customer base. We've got some great collaborations in the market. With, for example, the Investment Association Engine Program.
Of course, yeah.
We were very lucky to be part of the FIA Innovator Pavilion this year. That has given us a distribution channel.
And that's in Chicago.
That's
right?
correct.
So that
the home,
gives
the
a
home
sense
of futures.
Of completely,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, and it was great, and it's enabled us also to have a platform to explain what InTick is able to do for different organizations. And what we've seen with the deep pipeline of organizations that are now actively onboarding onto InTick is that there's a demand. There is a demand for solving problems. Now that those problems have been acknowledged and recognized, now there's an urgency to take advantage of what we can do as a technology platform for them. And we are really excited about what that means for us in 2026 as organizations take advantage of the product offering.
I have to say, Ben, I feel like it's really fortunate to have caught you, because it's going to be an incredibly busy year. Why you're not on an aeroplane, or the fact that I've even caught you in London. Here we are in London, very busy office. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's been really interesting hearing about InTick, and I wish you every possible success.
Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Not at all. Thanks.